Okay, I'm moving on to example number 9 here, working on step 6, evaluating premises on the basis of relevance. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller up there and give myself a text box within which to evaluate each of these premises on the basis of relevance. Starting at the bottom. Now we've got 3 pairs of dependent premises, so I have to treat each of them like a unit. So the question is, are 2 and 6 relevant to 5? And here I would say yes. Premise 2 makes a claim about the preferences of customers, and premise 6 claims that servers will only care about that preference if tipping is a possibility. That's what each of those premises does. Since 5 is about the action, is about tipping and its effect on, its positive effect on an element, and positive effect on service in general, and premise 2 is about one element of service, then 2 and 6 are relevant. Okay, so I've connected all the ideas in dependent premises and the premise that they are allegedly giving evidence for. And I suspect that this pattern is going to continue, right? Because the logic is the same. Now, it's not the same in every argument that has pairs of dependent premises, but there seems a real pattern here. In 2, if customers want X, hourly paid servers will not care about X unless they are tipped. Same thing over here, same pattern, just different content. Okay, so as long as what 2, 3, and 4 are talking about have to do with service, and they do, hot food is about service, having drinks refilled is about service, quality food is about service, then they're going to be relevant. I'm going to copy that right in there because my evaluation is the same. Premise 3 makes a claim about the preferences of customers, and premise 8 claims that servers will only care about that preference if tipping is a possibility. Since 5 is that, and premise 3 is about one element of service, then 3 and 8 are relevant. And it's going to be the same thing for 4 and 7. Premise 4, I'm just double checking this as I read it to make sure it still works, but I think it does. 4 makes a claim about the preferences of customer. 7 claims that customers will only care about that. Since 5 and premise 4 is about one element of service, then 4 and 7 are relevant. Okay, so we've already done all of those premises. Now let's look at 5. Tipping ensures proper service. Assume that's true. Does that mean that customers at restaurants ought to tip servers? I'd say yes, that is relevant. Proper service is a fundamental part of the enjoyability of eating out. And so customers are right to care about it. If there is an action that customers can take, such as tipping, to help ensure proper service, then they ought to do so. They ought to adopt that behavior. I like behavior if there is a behavior rather than an action. Then adopters can adopt if only out of self-interest. Notice I have not just repeated the premise. Why that's an arrow. I have made another claim, which someone can disagree with. I say proper service is a fundamental part of the enjoyability of eating out. Someone could say, I don't really care about it. It has nothing to do. All I care about is the quality of the food. So if I can have a crabby waiter who totally ignores me and I still have a great time. So they may disagree with the relevance of 5 to the conclusion. But I think it is relevant because to me, good service is a really important part of eating out. So that is example number 9.